stem cells, normal stem cells, are there to regenerate organs. Like in a normal case, we talked about the GI tract where you slough off the cells and you have to replace them, and Mike sort of mentioned that. So they have sort of a normal function, basically, of replacing cells that are hurt, and they may have, therefore, a function in terms of damaged tissues in replacing them. I could see the situation where we're in a state of like chronic damage, which could be caused by environmental factors, that the stem cells can actually go awry. And a very important question, which I want to just sort of address briefly because it's an important scientific question, is the cancer because of a change in a normal stem cell? Or does a cell revert a cell that turns cancerous, act like a stem cell? All right, let's have Mike start this off.
So I think the answer is becoming more and more clear that both can happen. And so in certain types of tumors, it's clear that the cells are arising from a normal stem cell. And other types of tumors, it's becoming more and more clear. They're arising from a cell that is partially gone down the line towards a differentiated cell. So when you make the mature cells in your gut, for example, I said you replace them every 7 days, the cells that slough off, and you've got a stem cell population that's about 1 in 20 cells, we now know. But in between the cells that slough off, the stem cells make a series of daughter cells that we call progenitor cells. And those cells have the ability to divide, but they only divide a few times and then they stop. And what now is becoming apparent is some of these mutations of genes that really originated from Bob Weinberg, Bob identified the first, that it now is becoming apparent that some of those genes actually allow these intermediate cells to gain the stem cell properties, including self-renewal, and stem cell programs are turning on. We now have evidence that there are some common shared programs that allow stem cells to maintain themselves, and these are being turned on in progenitor cells that have become cancerous. So they're using these these fundamental programs to maintain themselves. And so the answer is, it's a long explanation, but we're now understanding that it's both things can happen, and we're beginning to just scratch the surface of the molecular events that are controlling these stem cell properties.
Okay. Larry, could I just add why we're so focused on stem cells? Stem cells represent the source by which a tumor can regrow, can regenerate. And one of the things that all of us are thinking in light of this discovery of breast cancer stem cells is the following. Maybe many of the conventional therapies will greatly shrink a tumor and get rid of all the non-stem cells. But if the stem cells survive as a small minority, they hang around and present us with the possibility that they can regenerate, they can respawn a new tumor after the therapy, the initial therapy has ceased. That's the worry, and that's why our thinking about this entire field and the efficacy of different kinds of therapies has changed dramatically over the last 5 years.